Hi, this is Tilak. Welcome back to our fast formula tutorial. Today we are going to look at that last tutorial of total TCS compensation items. Okay, we almost in the end of TCS fast formula tutorial. If you haven't seen my previous tutorial, please go and look at that, because if you are here by by accidentally or by searching anything, it is the end of the tutorial, so all this context and that input value, everything explained in my previous tutorials. Let's see what we are going to look at today. Today we are going to look at the last part of that TCS item value. When I was explaining all this input value, I explained that all the compensation formula except that eligibility, all the past formula which is that belongs to compensation, TCS or a GSP or a salary or CWP, which is supporting array input values. These are the array input values: the assignment ID, time ID, assignment ID, pay time ID, and pay relationship ID. This basically pass all that assignment ID belongs to the person on the effective date. It is also include all the date tracking, like active, inactive, everything will be included and send it to you. Now, when it is sending the assignment ID, if there is a first 5 assignment ID, then it also makes sure there will be 5 record in time, assignment, payroll assignment, pay time, pay relationship ID. Even the person does not have a payroll information. For example, the payroll is not implemented. Still, you get this information. Probably you get the empty records of if there's a 5 row in assignment, definitely there will be a 5 row in all this information. That is how it passes it to you. So if you go through 5 of any of these record, assume that all this information has got a 5 record. Okay, so we are going to look at that how these array input values are accessed or used. Along with that, we also going to look at that how that output variable array is passed in total compensation item. In our previous tutorial, we saw that how that the single record is passed, or how multiple record passed in as one variable, or a multiple record passed in a multiple variables. Today is the final part of it. This is passing the out variable. Okay. In case if you are using if you are using the fast formula to pass multiple records, say more than 2 or 3, I recommend using the variable rather than going for a multiple variables. The multiple variable came into the picture. That was basically taken from that previous versions of TCS where that array were not supported. Since the arrays started supporting in TCS, you don't have to use multiple variables to return the values. You can convert them into a array, and you can return the arrays. Now let's see, okay, before we are getting to write that formula, I also want to explain that the example is basically taken from one of my blog. Okay, that is that tilak-lakshmi.blogspot.com. I can show this is the blog name. Okay, and the blog is basically called Common Issues Faced by Compensation Fast Formula Developers. Okay, and the example is here. Okay, I may not use exact coding, but the concept is taken from here. If you understand this one, what I am doing is, you know that. So I am not going to give you a code. The code is taken from here. You can use this code. I'll provide the link to this blog in the description. Okay. Now let's get into writing the fast formula. Well, okay, as usual, we take the compensation module, go to the end of the compensation module. From there, you get the navigation to fast formula. I am going to use the existing first formula, so I don't have to like create items or like using the item and everything. I am using the one which is we used last time. I removed the form, this one, that's the reason it is invalid. Okay, now I have the header. Okay, basically the description is there. Let me edit the formula. Correct. Okay, let me increase the size of the zoom it, so probably that makes it easier. No, a bit too much, I believe. I make it 125. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now what we do? Let me do all these database items. I'm going to use it. Let me copy and paste. So I'll explain you what are the things I'm going to do. Okay. I told you that the array is going to return all these fast formulas. I mean all these assignment IDs, which is date tracked, everything. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to validate by using is it latest change or not. Okay, if it is latest change, this will be Y. So that will be validated. The status code will tell me active. There could be active payroll. So if it is like active, the status code is like active, then that is validated. I am going to use this start date not for validation, just for the relation start date I am using as a return date, so, or you can have an effective date. In my case I am using this one. The primary track, I am making sure I am taking only the primary, the primary is the only assignment I am using it. The assignment type also I am using for validation, that is supposed to be E. So except the, okay, I just okay. These two values, assignment salary amount, that will be return amount, return value, the start date will be a date. Except these four are used for validating the assignment. Okay. So that is my example, but you can use your own validation, whichever later assignment you can use it. Okay. After that, I am going to declare input values. I am going to declare that. Okay. I am taking it out. I don't want. Okay. I am removing this part. Now, okay. Now, what is this? Okay. I'm using the person ID, the normal person ID, the period start date, and the period end date. This is coming as a number, so I don't have to give any type. A date, these two is coming as a date, so I'm giving this one. Okay, now what we are looking at is IVR assignment ID. Okay, whenever that R is used, that is using for range here. So it says compensation input value in range assignment ID. If it's a range, it is an array. So that's a TAM ID, IVR pay assignment ID, IVR pay TAM ID, pay relationship ID. These are passed. Okay. What is number? The first one says what is the value. The second one says how it is indexed. In our previous array, I explained that it can be, the array can be indexed either by number or by a text. So in this case, it is the value is number, it is indexed by text. So all this is the same way. Okay. Now I am also giving it default for one of the assignment ID. Okay, this is I'm sure that assignment ID is you are going to get it. In case the person doesn't have assignment. In case, assume that the person doesn't have assignment. For example, okay, in our case it is not that, but if you are going into the benefit or anywhere else, the dependent also coming into the picture. If that is the case, what happened? Okay, this generally I am giving an example. The assignment, the person may not have assignment, so that the whatever you are going, when you are accessing this one is going to error. So what I am doing that as a defensive coding, I am defaulting this value with a empty number. So this is defined as a empty array. Okay, that's the default. but in our case you don't need it, just I'm letting you know that. Okay, now I got the input value, I got the DBA. Now what else I want? Now I'm going to declare the got the input values, I got the DBA. Okay, now let's start writing fast formulas. Okay, so like let's start writing the logic. Okay, now when I are entering it, I'm putting this on and I'm leaving. So I got leaving. Okay, now I have to have a variables. Okay, that's all. Yes, now leaving. Now I have to have a variable which is going to store the output values. How do we do that? Okay, now I'm going to do the variable. Okay, I can declare inside. That's okay. Here also fine here. Okay, now I'm declaring all the 4 values: assignment, legal, employer. Probably I'm going to use only that legal employer. I'm not going to use it. Okay, so even you can also use the unit. Also you can use it. I'm not using it. Just I'll show you. Unit. Unit is a very recent development, so make sure whatever version you are in, that is supported. Unit. Okay. Okay. Now what we are going to use in this formula is compensation dates, and what I'm going to do here is return compensation dates, comma, values, comma, assignments. So we are going to return all the 3. So now we have a return variable ready. Now sorry about that. Return variable ready. Now what we are going to do the logic for this. What is the logic? Now I need, okay, before we are getting to that, we'll get the all that context. That will tell you. Okay. Let me get the context. Okay. Okay. Now I got the personal context. Assignment day also I got the is the default assignment whatever is coming in as a context. Now I also got the count. Okay. How many count is there? So just I am writing the count here. Okay. So you can also validate if the count is less than or equal to 0. Okay. Just or equal to 0. You don't have to, just you can return, you don't have to go further, or within that you can make a counter, but I write the formula in a little different style. Okay, now what I'm doing here, I wrote my total count, person ID, assignment ID, start date, end date, everything is basically logged. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take that first index of it. The first index is tell you, okay, when you are taking that assignment ID first -1. So if it is a empty, this one you get a -1. If it is not there, whatever the first index, like 199% it is always 1. Start with what is 1. So after that I am going to have a one variable called counter, which is initialized with number 1. Okay. Okay. Why I need a variable? Basically, when I am creating my output array, I need a counter. Now, why I can't use the index? I can use the index. Am I right? It is. But in case what happens, sometime we are going to validate the input assignments, and probably some we may reject. For example, if you have a 5 rows in the array of input, assignment is coming. Out of that, probably there will be only 1 prime, or there could be so in this case the output will be only 1, or assume that there is only 2 arrays matching with our conditions. So you are going to get only 2. So for that purpose I am using the counter, so I can't use the index. Okay. Now what I do, so I am creating a loop. How do I create a loop? While I am going to use the exists while okay, index this is exists exist while okay, loop, open the bracket, and I am closing the end loop. Okay. Now the loop is ready. What loop is telling the index is that okay, in case if it is -1 is coming, that's not exist, so it is going to fail. So when it is going to fail, it is automatically going to come out. So now how do I get into the next record? Index, okay, it is going to say here I am going to find the next record of the index. Next record index, the default value is -1. So now what is happening here is okay, it is going to go to the assume that index is 1, so the next of 1, okay, that would be 2. Next of 3, assume you have a 5, then next of 3 is 4, next of 5. Next of 5, there's nothing is there, so the -1 is going to come out. When the 9 -1, the exist is going to fail, so it is going to come out. That is how the looping is going to happen here. Okay, now I got my loop is ready. Now what I'm going to do here is, once the loop is ready, I'm going to log the information which is coming out of the input values. Okay, so okay, this is I'm going to log this information. Now this is term ID, assignment ID, payroll, all this information will be logged. Okay, so now I know what is that value of that all that row which is I'm processing it. Now once I got my assignment ID, I'm going to set the context. Okay, it's called change context, change contexts. I think it is called change contexts. Yeah. Okay, HR assignment ID. Okay, I'll just copy and paste. So we already looked into that. Okay. So it is the HR assignment IDs. The context is getting set. Okay. Now, whenever you are doing the context, make sure you are putting a proper bracket, because the setting context works within the bracket only. Okay, outside of the bracket, it goes to, okay, if you are doing anything here, you get the context which is set here. That is the default one. The context works only within the bracket. Okay. Now I got the context is changed. Now what I'm going to get it? I'm going to get that assignment information. Okay. So before I do the validation, make sure I'm writing everything. So always you make sure you log the information, whatever validation you are going to do that. In our case, assignment type is there, primary flag, all this, the validation is what we are going to do it. You are going to use it. Okay, now I copy and paste the condition. Okay, now this is that condition I'm going to do that. What the condition says is, if assignment type is E, that assignment type is E, employee, primary flag is true, yes, and the latest change is Y, and the per assignment status code like active. So it could be active payroll, active something, it could be anything. Then, okay, then I open the bracket, then make sure you close the bracket immediately. Now I am going to get the value. Okay, what value I am going to get it? I am going to get the salary. Okay, so I am also going to write the salary. Okay, so I am writing the whatever the DBA of the salary, I am writing it. So now what I am going to do here is I am going to write this assignments, everything will be, now I am going to create the output. Okay, I am going to use the counter for that. I am not using the index, I am using the counter, because sometimes the index may not come true here. So index will be 1, probably 3 or 1, 4. That is what will be true within that condition. So I am using the counter. So basically I am using the counter here. I got the value. I got the assignment dates, which is that period date. Okay, in this case, period end is date is used. Okay, and IVR assignment ID, that's assignment ID, the index of assignment ID, and the salary amount is that the took care amount is the output value. Now what we do? Now I'm incrementing the counter. So next time when I'm coming inside, okay, the counter will be incremented. In case, okay, in my case, I am initialize the counter with 1. If you are initializing counter with 0, you increment the counter here. That is also you can do that. You don't have to increment it here. In case since it is 1, so after the job is done, I'm incrementing into the next counter. So that's it. We are done. Okay. Let me just rephrase it. I mean, go back one thing. Okay. We declare our database item, whichever database item we are using it, and also I'm using the database item which is I'm validating. Then basically we declare that input values. The assignment ID is defaulted with the empty. In case is it like in case the IVR assignment ID is coming with nothing. Then I am also declared my output variables. Then I got the logged all the information. Then I got the first index of that assignment ID array. But this is not. This is always you whenever you work with either you work with that range DBA or you work with that range input values, output value. This is how you you loop. You get the index, use the index to loop through. So this I have one more variable. Then I'm making sure that in the loop the index exists. So once the index exists, I'm getting the assignment ID and setting the context of the current assignment ID, and within the context I'm getting the value of the information I want to validate in the assignment level. Then validating the assignment, when the validation is true, I'm getting the value storing in the output arrays. Then I'm adding the counter. That's it. So once then I'm at the end, I'm basically making sure I'm finding the next index. So then it goes through till it find no more index, that is -1. When it's meeting the -1, it is going to come out. Okay, I'm having some kind of a okay, that's it. Save, submit, compiling. See error. Let me have what's the error. Syntax error at line number 8. Okay, correct. What is line number 8? I thought I fixed that. Okay. Somehow it never worked for me first time. Again. Okay, look like this. There's no error, so look like this done. So I go back. Sometimes it happens, if you come back here, it is turned to green. So it is working fine. Now what we do, I'm going to just use it only in that tester. I'm not going to get in process that TCS job. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, formula, probably it is TCS. Okay, yeah, this is the one. So I'm going to test it. I'm using any formula because we only interested in our date, nothing else. Okay, tabby, validate. The first time it take little time, then it is okay. Taking 6 seconds. If I do next time, it won't take so much because the first time after compilation, they also do some kind of a compilation. Okay, it is returning a 5000. Okay, now let's see why it is returning only one row. Okay, let's see a log. Okay, it is getting into that number of assignment is 1. That's the reason is 1. Person ID we got, assignment ID got, start date we know what it is because the start date of the period it is there. Then it have assignment in array, end date you know that, term ID, payroll assignment ID, payroll assignment relation ID, all these we got it perfectly fine. Assignment type is E, assignment flag, primary flag is Y, that we know that. the status code is an active process. Okay, so yeah, we care only about the active, so it is also true. The largest change flag is Y, that is also true. Now I am getting the value, so it is going out, getting the value 5000, and probably after that it is coming out. Okay, leaving that this one. Okay, so you can look at that. The execution time is, we look at that 17:15 the hour, minute, 15 second, 17:18. So it is taking 3 seconds. Okay, okay, but when you are looking at here, it says 6 seconds, 92. Like now 6. It is cannot be 6 minutes. Okay, that is something is not right here. Okay, so basically it takes only 3 seconds for execution. It's perfectly fine. So it is working. Okay, that's it. Okay, that's it for that explanation. Okay, I'll put the link for the for the blog. You can take the code from there. Okay, today is that by this we are completing TCS item as well as that total compensation statement formulas, because that supports only 3 formulas and we explained all this formula. If you have any questions, any doubts or any comments, let me know. If you have a problem with my English, okay, I can give you what I have. Okay, so other than that, if you like my work, please go and like the video, and welcome. Next time I'll see you with a different tutorial. Probably I'll take a smaller break, then I'll come with a different topic. Either I'll take a CWP or a salary or a GSP. GSP, yeah, that's right. Okay, see you next time with a different tutorial. Thank you. Bye.